Hello there and welcome to the FM Scout YouTube channel. I'm Curty FM and this video is another instalment of our Tactic Tuesday series where we take a look at a real life tactic and try to recreate it within Football Manager 2017. Before we get into the video however, I would like to invite you over to my channel Curty FM where we are running a Let's Play series where we're in charge of my beloved Aldershot town. Still in the first season, I think we're about 8 or 9 episodes in. So if you come to my channel, if you like what you see, feel free to drop a cheeky sub. That would be hugely appreciated. Right, but back to today's video. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail, we're going to be focusing on Pep Guardiola's Tiki-Taka style from the Barcelona team that he managed from around 07 to 2011. Now you won't find many who will disagree that Pep Guardiola's Barcelona team were the greatest team on earth at that point, and whether you believe that he inherited a great team and was just incredibly lucky, or whether his implementation of this system and his philosophies made them the greatest team at that point, that's up for debate. But what we can't argue with is his record, and also the fact that Spain implementing the sort of style that Pep Guardiola did at Barcelona also brought them a lot of success. So let's look at some of the key components of the Tiki-Taka style. Okay, so first of all, and this should go without saying, but this system was intended for highly technical players. You need intelligent players with good technical ability to be able to employ this system. You know, you're asking players to pass it short, move into space, pass it short. There's lots and lots of passes and movement on the ball for these players to make. So if you're playing as a lower league team, it's unlikely this system is going to work for you. Another key component is you need players who are able to press high in the match throughout the game. The idea is that you'll play as much of the game in opposition territory as possible. So when you lose the ball, you've got players closing that player on the ball, the opposition player on the ball, down as quickly as possible to try and win the ball back in opposition territory. Finally, we want to stretch opposition defenders as much as possible in the final third, which means getting our fullbacks high and wide, creating overloads, stretching the defence out and creating what is called half space for players to attack. So the space, traditionally it's called this half space, is the space between central defenders and fullbacks. So just creating channels for players to attack. So without further ado, let's take a look at the tactic. So here is the tactic, set up as a basic 4-3-3. However, as with all the other Tactic Tuesday videos, what I'll do is I'll run you through the team instructions and then any individual player instructions that we've set. And then we'll go and see the tactic actually in action. So starting with the team instructions, starting on a control mentality, our team shape is very fluid. We're playing with a normal tempo. You could possibly even play with a lower tempo. However, we do have instructions which by proxy will reduce the tempo of a control strategy. So we're leaving it on normal. We're playing, although we're trying to stretch the play and keep our fullbacks high and wide, we're not focusing play down the wings. So keeping a balanced width is fine. Our defensive line is slightly higher. Barca do play with that high defensive line, and on a control mentality, that is high enough. We don't want to go much higher than that. Closing down is more, as we said with the key components, we want to be winning the ball back. Using tighter marking, that just ties in with closing the ball down, just making it harder for the opposition to play simple passes around us. We're playing out of defence. When we're playing a possession game, that makes a lot of sense. Shorter passing, we're retaining possession. We're also working the ball into box. In this game, crossing will garner you success. However, in real life, Barcelona didn't waste possession by putting needless crosses into the box or shooting from distance needlessly. You know, they were all about playing high percentage football. So keeping the ball, waiting for good chances to be created. When we do cross it in, we're going to be whipping it in. There's no point floating it in with Messi up top. And we're also asking our attacking players to roam from positions. So I'll run through now each position. We'll start with the goalkeeper, start at the back. We are asking ter Stegen, he's a sweeper keeper support, and we are asking him to distribute the ball short. So play it to centre backs, take short kicks. We don't want him hoofing the ball up the pitch needlessly. We've not got anyone big up there who's going to be knocking down headers or anything like that, so it makes sense to build from the back. At right back, we've got Vidal here. Obviously, Dani Alves would have been in this position. And he is just a standard, complete wing-back attack. We haven't asked him to do anything more. That particular role suited Dani Alves down to the ground. On the opposite side, at left-back, we've got Alba as a wing-back support. All we've asked of him is to make sure he stays wider when we are in possession of the ball. Just going back to our key component of trying to stretch the opposition when we're in the final third. Alba staying wide, pulling full-backs, and then by proxy central defenders out of position is really, really important to this tactic. In central defence, we've got Umtiti as a central defender, just a bog standard central defender, no additional instructions. That would have been the Carlos Puyol role. Some might argue that he possibly would have been a stopping defender and then Piqué as a covering defender, but yeah, playing with the halfback dropping into that, I'd rather just have the two defenders on defenders normal. I don't want to sort of separate the pair by having a stopper cover combination. Next to him we've got Piqué. He's a ball-playing defender. He will play more risky passes, but he's technically good enough to do that. In front of them, and this is one of the key positions really, is Busquets. Well, he'll be dropping in between that back two to almost create a back three when we're in possession. Obviously the wing-backs will get forward, thus creating the space between the two centre-backs for him to do so. We've only asked him to play fewer risky passes, just basically as a half-back. All we want him to do is win the ball back, break up play and recycle possession. In front of him in the Xabi role is Rakitic, just a standard deep line player, support, no additional instructions. But one of the two heartbeats of this team, next to him is the other heartbeat, would be Iniesta. He's an advanced playmaker, so we're looking to get these two players on the ball as much as possible, with Iniesta playing just that little bit more advanced than Xavi or Rakitic in this case. Up front, well I say up front, but on the right wing as an inside forward attack is Luis Suarez, obviously injured in this particular simulation, but he would be the player I'd employ out there. Obviously going back to Pep's team, you probably had players like Pedro, so you know, attacking players looking to get beyond Messi and looking to finish off moves. He's set as an inside forward attack. We haven't added any additional instructions. On the left hand side we've got Neymar, inside forward support. All we've asked him to do is get further forward. Again, with Messi dropping off the line a lot, we want him to be high up the pitch, linking up with Iniesta, Messi and Suarez on the opposite side. So we've asked him to get further forward and stay wider as well. We want him cutting in from that left hand side. We don't want to find him just in the middle waiting for the ball. Up front, and this might be a slightly controversial one, given that the false nine role is kind of what Messi is all about. However, my view on this is that I've set Messi as a trequartista because that particular role offers him more creative freedom to do as he pleases. When you've got someone like Messi, you want him to decide in any given scenario what he should be doing. He's intelligent enough. We're talking about one of the greatest players to ever lace up a boot. That is why I've set him as a trequartista. If you were playing with Bob Davis at Coventry and you're trying to replicate the tactic, I'd probably use the false nine position because you want to force Bob Davis to drop off the line and try and play in those inside forwards and link up with Iniesta behind him. However, like I say, with Messi, you essentially want to say to Lionel Messi, look mate, you do whatever you want to do, crack on, and I'm sure it'll be the right thing. So I have set him as a trequartista attack for that reason. I hope I've explained it well enough. In terms of opposition instructions, we've asked them to close down all opposition players. Like I say, we want to win the ball back as soon as we lose it, so this is a given, to be honest with you. And that's about it really. So we're going to look at a few examples of the tactic in action, and you can see how we got on. Before I do that, I'll just show you how we've got on in our various competitions. Top of the league, Real Madrid are 4 points behind, but they do have 2 games in hand. But as you'd expect, Barca and Real Madrid are streets ahead of anyone else in this division. Qualified in the Champions League, now in the first knockout round versus Leicester. Won the group quite convincingly. In the semi-final of the Spanish Cup, playing Espanyol, and we won the Spanish Super Cup. Obviously, if you haven't watched one of these videos before, you should know that I have set the tactic and then simmed forward to a point in the season. As you can see now, we're at the end of January, so quite a long way into the season. And yeah, it's gone quite well. So just looking at the schedule, some of the big results in there. Won the Spanish Super Cup on away goals, so scraped through really, but silverware in the bag. Our first big test was probably this one, Real Madrid, the 22nd of October, which we won comfortably, 2-0. The next real test though was Atletico Madrid, and we failed miserably. We actually lost 3-0. Our first defeat of the season coming at the end of October, so not ideal, but given the amount of games that we've won before then, we can live with that. Beat Valencia 3-1 at home, Bilbao 3-1 away, Las Palmas 6-0. Actually lost in the Spanish Cup quarter-final 1-0, but managed to make it up in the second leg to get through to the semi-finals. Lost at home to Deportivo La Coruña, which is a concern. However, at the time, we do have quite a few of our key players injured. So yeah, so a couple of defeats in there, but on the whole, a pretty good season. We just look at the squad and any of the standout players. Looking at Lionel Messi, he's only actually got 19 goals in 32 appearances, which seems pretty low for someone like Messi. He does have 14 assists, however, so he is playing that role as I intended, to not only be probably one of our, probably our main goal scorer, but also to drop off the line and create for other players too. So he's contributed 33 goals in 32 games, which isn't too bad. I would have liked to have seen more goals from him, but it's not the end of the world. Suarez and Neymar chipping in with goals. Again, probably not as many as you'd like, but what you've got to remember is real life and Football Manager is different in the sense that crossing for the last couple of years has been slightly, last year it was massively overpowered. This year, slightly overpowered, and we are asking the players not to cross the ball. So we're probably missing out on some opportunities with those team instructions. So it might be something to consider going forward. Right, this example comes in our 4-1 win over Celta Vigo in the league. This is just a good example of creating half space for players to attack by stretching the play. So I'll start you off, I'll just play it forward and we'll just follow it out. Jordi Alba has the ball, cuts inside to Mascherano, Iniesta, Andre Gomez playing in the Xabi role or the Rakitic role, sees the run of Jordi Alba out on this wide left hand side. He makes a really good run and Andre Gomez finds him with a great ball. Now when Alba collects the ball, the fullback is drawn towards him. So all of a sudden you've got this space between the number 2 defender and the number 20 defender, and Suarez is just going to plonk himself in there waiting for the pass from Jordi Alba. Lovely ball in, good finish at the near post, and that's all it is really. Just by having your wide players stay high and wide in the final third, you're going to draw players out of position and create players for your central players to take advantage of. So really good example of just creating that little bit of half space for Suarez to exploit. Okay, this goal highlights the benefit of pressing high up the pitch so that you win the ball back as soon as possible to try and create easier scoring chances. So we've got a throw in right in the opposition half, just right down in the corner. Alba's about to take it, throws it into Neymar, tries to turn inside, but Bennett wins the ball back, plays it inside to Leku, but look at Neymar there, winning the ball back and playing it to Rafinha. And from here, it's just good football. Messi plays it to Neymar, who whips the ball across. Suarez hits the bar, taps in the rebound. But that all came from Neymar losing the ball and then winning it back as quickly as possible down in that corner. Right, finally, this is just for me, this is just a great goal, an example of what Lionel Messi is capable of, and this is in the 2-0 win over Real Madrid, so in a really high profile game. Yeah, it's pretty special. So Sergio plays the ball up to Arda Turan into Messi, and he just runs at the defender, beats one man, cuts inside the other, and then just whacks it in the top corner. I mean, that's why he's the greatest player in the world. I'm sorry, Ronaldo fans, but for me, Messi's number one. So that about wraps it up for this week. Obviously, as with all the other Tactic Tuesday videos, this is an open discussion, so feel free to drop a comment below if you disagree with anything I've done, any of the roles, or if there's anything that you would change to make it more like Pep's system at Barcelona. As always, the link to download this tactic will be in the description below. However, just want to remind you that this is obviously built for Barcelona, and more specifically Pep's Barcelona. Obviously it fits with this particular team as well, but if you're playing as Coventry, no disrespect to Coventry, probably not going to work so well. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit a thumbs up button. It's really appreciated when you do. Subscribe to the FM Scout YouTube channel for more. If you haven't already, make sure you head on over to fmscout.com for all your Football Manager needs. We've got graphics downloads, we've got discussions about tactics, there's FM news, up-to-date news, help with downloads for the game. There's so much over there. It really is a great Football Manager website. Like I say, I've been Curti FM. Feel free to head over to my channel, drop me a cheeky sub if you feel like it. But until next Tuesday, that is all from me. So, ta-ta for now.